Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has entered here the Wave 4 target area. There are two different scenarios that I'm really following closely here. This one here is the one that I would even call my primary expectation still, where we've actually missed the Wave 3 target area by a few dollars. And we're now coming down into the Wave 4 target area that was reached. The assumption is that from the low here on the 13th of October, at around 18.2k, we created an impulse. I chose the wrong tool, 1 second. So we created an impulse to the upside. We came down in a wave 2. We moved up in a wave 3. We're coming down now in a wave 4, and there will be one more wave 5 to the upside. That is sort of a scenario that makes sense to me. There's a bit of a flaw in here. Something I don't really like, and that is the scenario and the idea that we basically failed here. Yeah, we did not really push into the target area. We made a higher high than the previous one, which allows me to count it as a fifth wave of the third. This spike here, this peak at 21,088, but it didn't quite go strong enough. I would have liked to see at least to get to the 21,150 level. Okay, that would have been ideal. Now, I can still count it as a wave 5 because it is, you count it as an ending diagonal in a wave 5, and it made a higher high than the previous wave 3. And I warned you already that when we, or should we get below this trend line, then we are most likely going to head already earlier than expected into this wave 4 target area, which we've done now and overnight. And as long as we stay below this trend line, which I showed you yesterday, it would suggest we continue the downtrend, and we're doing that. And we've now reached the first key support level, broke it. That's the 23.6% FIB level, is the minimum requirement for a wave 4. We've broken that. It would suggest we're now on the wave to the 38.2 retracement at 20,161. That would be the ideal target for a wave 4. Wouldn't be surprised to necessarily get there. But what you need to do, you need to keep an eye on that trend line. When that gets broken, it would be a suggestion that we are already heading higher here. Yeah. In wave 5, yeah, because there will be another wave 5 coming. Different targets, different ways to measure it. But I'm looking sort of at the region 21.7 to 22k, maybe even a bit higher. But this is sort of where we are, right? Important here. In this particular scenario, it must not drop below 19,875. Otherwise, we will morph into a completely different scenario, maybe even a more bearish one. But that's the first scenario, that's the first view. Also, I showed you yesterday that if we draw a trend line here, we already broke that yesterday. We broke that. That was an additional confirmation that we are heading down further. But overall, it currently doesn't look like to me that this move to the upside is over. In fact, the move down looks fairly corrective, which means another impulse could be following to the upside. The other scenario is the triangle pattern. Yeah, the triangle pattern is the view that we are in a massive triangle. Yeah, that since the June low of 17.6k, Bitcoin has moved in a large triangle. That is absolutely possible as well. So in the other scenario I've just shown you, we still expect further upside potential, yeah, as long as these conditions I mentioned are fulfilled. So we're still looking for short-term upside potential, but also here, my expectation would be to get another low out of this. Yes, there is a bullish scenario as well sketched on the chart, so we need to have it on the radar. And I said it before, if we really go above the 22k level and stay there, then the chart structure will flip bullish. And I will have to consider as primary expectation something more bullish. But it doesn't really matter. What is important is which levels the price is holding, what is the short-term expectation, what are the possibilities. And Bitcoin is still in a state of uncertainty, so it could be either bullish or bearish. The problem is that we haven't seen enough of Bitcoin to confirm that a low is already in. Yeah, there are, of course, different views on it, different opinions, but I don't base my analysis on an opinion, really. I base it on objectivity, on the application of the Elliott Wave rules, on experience as well, on what Bitcoin normally does. And if I base it on the structure that Bitcoin is developing now, my view is just I want to see more I want to see more evidence that Bitcoin produces to confirm that a low is already in. Because I acknowledge the low could be in, I'm going to I have the bullish breakout pattern on the chart here as well, yeah, where the wave 3 would take us to 30k, but it's just not confirmed yet. Okay, it's not confirmed yet. Of course, it's possible it's not confirmed yet. Primarily, I still expect a lower low here in the wave 5. But yeah, the other possibility is a triangle where we could be moving in basically in a sideways fashion for many more weeks. And in this scenario, we have moved up since June in a wave A. We came down in a wave B. We're now in the C wave. We will come down in a 4 and move up in a, we'll come down in a D and we'll move up in an E. And then that would be the peak of the 4th wave and we would then come down. Not an unlikely pattern. And in this pattern, we're also adhering very interestingly and very nicely actually to the short-term wave count. Here, the targets, however, are a little bit different. But I like the count. The short-term count makes sense to me. So I showed you that yesterday. I think this is still unfolding where, and again, I don't know which of these is playing out at the moment, but the point is in both of these scenarios, we're expecting short-term upside and a reversal in this area. It probably depends a little bit and we'll get a bit more clarity depending on when we turn around and how high we go in the next move up. Because in this scenario, we've started an impulsive wave, here back in, well, sort of around the 24th of October, didn't we? And in this scenario, we can say that we moved up in a wave A, however. Yeah, that's a 5-wave move, the wave A, an A wave. So I think I showed you that yesterday, how this can be counted. And that count, just how it sort of looks from its proportions, it sort of makes, yeah, it sort of makes more sense to me. So my view here would be that we moved up in a 1, came down at 2, moved up in a 3, came down a 4, moved up in a 5. So we've got this 5-wave move in wave A. Then we came down in a B wave. And we could be moving now up in wave C, right? So that's absolutely a possibility. That we're already in the C wave to the upside, that this is just a 1-2 setup, okay? I'm starting to think maybe it's not as easy. Maybe this is going to become some kind of triangle pattern, which doesn't really change the overall assumption here that we will still see a wave C to the upside. It would just drag out the wave B. Why is this possible or likely? It is because this move down looks very corrective at the moment. Well, again, it could be a 1-2 setup, absolutely. I'm just thinking that's another possibility that we have here, because it appears to me very much like it's starting to look like a triangle. Can't help it. Some kind of a, yeah, maybe even an ascending triangle or contracting triangle. We'll see, but I just want to make you aware that this is a possibility that this wave B, so a wave B can be a triangle, that this might become just a triangle shape. And again, it depends on what the price does next. In both of these scenarios, however, I would expect the price to break eventually to the upside. In this 1-2 setup, it should ideally hold the 20,250 level. In the triangle pattern, no problem to come down to roughly 20,000. Yeah, but how would the triangle pattern look like? So it would look like A, B, C, D, E. That would then finish off the wave B. And then we would move up in a C. Just have it on the radar, yeah. Understand that could happen if we in the next move up don't get above the B wave, yeah, and stay below 21,075, that is probably going to develop as a triangle. Important for the triangle, as always, is sort of to make now higher lows and lower highs until it's finished. And then a breakout either way will confirm, obviously, the breakout, yeah. Ideally, based on this pattern here, we should break out to the upside, and a breakout above the wave B will confirm the breakout. To the downside, if we go below the low of the wave A, which is around 20k, it would invalidate this triangle. Okay, so I'll keep you updated about these possibilities. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.